like to begin with the following statement. James Harden, you a bitch.
Let's go. You
Bitch, why'd you press the button? That's my job. Let's.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Now that my wife and daughter are out of the house, I can completely raise hell. Good morning. Welcome to the Taco Twisted Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This first hour is brought to you in part by where'd you go? There we go. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, use the code Snowman to get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. Speaking of Twisted Tuesday, what were you just twisting there? Oh, I thought it was a real Rubik's Cube. Okay.
What? It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
Oh, now it is.
Like,
did you ever solve it?
Yes, I've solved it millions of times.
I never owned a Rubik's Cube. I've owned a Simon. I've owned that electronic Simon game. All right, let's get down to business. You see the hockey god on your screen. You hear him on all of our radio networks. The first segment is his. All right, what you got for me?
The most ridiculous thing you will see in a while.
Oh,
this
geez.
trade happened a few days ago. The Colorado Avalanche trade Mikko Rantanen to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Martin Necas, Jack Drury, a 2025 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick. And Taylor Hall is traded from the Chicago Blackhawks to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for a third-round pick. Now I have one question to Colorado. Do you hate winning games? Do you just not like winning games? Is that what I'm getting at here?
I've got a better question.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh, boy. Ryan McCoffey is with us. A Pizzle, the cynical one. Brian Will is with us as well. If y'all like the programming, do us a favor and please support the Snow Strong Foundation with a cash app to $ Tallman Dr. K50. We got hockey to open the show, and the hockey god is here. What's on your mind with that trade?
It's a bunch of kerfuffle of who gives a damn.
A kerfuffle. Who won that trade? Did Carolina win that trade?
we won't know until the next couple of years, like especially if Carolina decides to re-sign Mikko Rantanen and re-sign Taylor Hall, which is going to cost a good bit of moolah because Taylor Hall is a greedy guy. Because I think I can memorize every team Taylor Hall has been on to this point. He started out in Edmonton with Nugent Hopkins and McDavid. That was the greatest first line Edmonton had since Gretzky and Curry and Messier.
Oh, man. Memories.
Since that line, that was one of the greatest first lines they had. And then you got, he went to New Jersey after that. I even have a Devils jersey back there in that dresser of Taylor Hall. And then he went to Arizona, played a bit there. And then after that, he went to Chicago. He's a team hopping snake. And now he's in Carolina. That's 5 teams. It's not the most teams anybody's been on, but it's definitely a lot of team hopping. It reminds me of Shaq in his last few years when he started really team hopping, going as far as going to the Celtics.
And now wearing his usual 34 because Paul Pierce was wearing 34.
And also somebody took 32 as well. So he chose 36. And Charles Barkley with one of the greatest roasts of all time because that's how many points he had in a month.
I
Carolina,
see no lie in that.
Let's see, from McCoffey, there it is. Carolina fleeced Colorado and Chicago, but Carolina didn't address their primary concern. Goaltending. For those who are curious, I will grab you the starting goaltenders for the Carolina Hurricanes in the last few games. Pyotr Kochetkov.
Who?
My case closed. The case is closed right there. Pyotr Kochetkov.
What?
And now just coming back from injury, the legendary Freddie Anderson.
What?
You know Frederick Anderson. He was literally the one that brought him to the conference final that year against the Panthers. And they got swept.
Oh, jeez. What?
It's
crazy.
Sad. It's sad. It's just sad. And then they got a lot of injuries within the front end with William Carrier out, Tyson Yost, Jesper Fast is also out with an injury. I think Fast might be out permanently, like for the rest of the season, with because he's got a neck injury, and that can be
that case may cost him the season.
But it doesn't mean that Carolina is out of the playoff race. In fact, they are second in the Metro. Good morning to you, A Pizzle, and to the cynical one, including to Brian Wills, hanging out, Snowman in the panel. Good morning to you as well.
To you. The hockey god is here to kick off the show today. For those of you waiting for the podcast version of the show, I will get it caught up today, and it begins with yesterday's episode. I am rebuilding the archives as we speak. Keep going.
So yesterday we recapped the save of the week, which was, I believe his name is Jake Ottinger's robbery on the Vegas Golden Knights. And
is it still here?
I just want to play it again. Like this is just
play it again.
This is the Snowman Multimedia Save of the Week, presented by Wanna Parlay, the world's richest parlay.
Vegas called a timeout, so that did give them time to rest. They had multiple players out there over a minute to tie. Barbershop, no! Dorofeyev! What a save! Oh, my God! They were counting that in.
Look at this. Great job off the faceoff. Great win, great possession, everything about it. And then you think for sure this is a goal, especially on Dorofeyev's stick. He is one of the players that...
That is an amazing save. I think I can compare that. Finally, I have a save to compare Bobrovsky's behind the back save to. Because you got to realize you got Ottinger being interfered with in the paint, and he has to reach out with his hand, basically hyperextending himself and somehow not getting injured in the process.
Yeah.
That is a difficult task to pull off.
It is. Brian Will is with us. I'm here to learn hockey. Cannot stand it. We'll fix that for you. Please feel free to be educational, as you are all big time enthusiasts. Well, the first team I ever loved was the Edmonton Oilers, and that was
Ryan
1985
McCarthy
with
with Game 5 with
1985 with Wayne Gretzky, Yari Curry,
was
Mark
that when Messier
Messier.
was on the team?
Say again.
Was that Messier on the team?
Yeah, Messier was there. And my first ever favorite goalie, Grant Fuhr.
Brian McCarthy has the greatest point right there. Brian, well, best education, go to a live game. And
Yeah.
if you live in a place like I do, this weekend, I'm going to do a little bit of selfish hometown promotion. But this weekend on Friday and Saturday, Friday, January 31st and Saturday, February 1st, hockey returns to Topeka. And the FPHL are playing another series of 2 games. I don't remember the teams, but they're going to be wearing throwback jerseys.
Nice.
But sadly, I looked at those jerseys. It's just new logos slapped on new jerseys so they can sell more money. I don't care. I don't care. Hockey's back in Topeka, and I'm so happy. It's basically seeing if bringing the FPHL to Topeka would be a good move. That's basically what that's what these neutral site games are all about, are finding out if they can bring hockey to this area. And I hope they choose to, because because $10 a game, that's amazing.
You know what else is going to be amazing? When the PWHL hits Chicago.
Yeah, you got a team.
Man, when
what would be some good
when
team
all
lighting?
that gets when all that gets situated next year, I already told Jody we're going to a couple of games.
Listen, I have some pretty bad news. So the chances are Indiana is probably going to get a PWHL team before Chicago. Let's be real. Because they have to go for the smaller markets. Danville Dashers, Baton Rouge, Zydeco, and Port Huron Prowlers are playing in Topeka. So the Baton Rouge Zydeco, I have a few things to say about them. They for the first games of the series, they said it's fine, we'll wear these jerseys, but for this next series, they have refused to wear the new jerseys.
Why do you think that is?
Brand integrity is one of those things. It's you gotta remember, hockey is still a business.
True.
And it's gonna be that way. So I don't blame them, but I'm also not gonna be all up on them because of it. But I am saddened to say something.
Okay, what?
So y'all know how we lost Johnny Gaudreau before the season started. We have lost another hockey player in the world. Johnny Bonta. He was a Danbury Hat Tricks player. He has passed away. He participated from he was born in 1995 and lived up his life until 2025. He was only 20 years of age at the time of his death.
Oh gosh.
So we celebrate the number 81 in honor of Bonta. May you rest in peace.
Power in paradise as well. May you rest in peace. Let's have a moment of silence for him, please. Thank you.
On a more positive note, I got the finals from last night, and oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Headache is just the way to describe last night. The Sharks finally got their 5th win since trading Mackenzie Blackwood to the Colorado Avalanche, beating the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1.
Well, what do you know?
You heard that right. Yes, the Pittsburgh Penguins were the ones that gave up a Sharks' 5th win of since trading Blackwood. Game-winning goal went to, guess who? The kid, Macklin Celebrini. And that happened all the way in the second period. The Flyers upset the third best team in the Metro The New Jersey Devils 4-2 was the
Oh,
final
wow.
score there. The game-winning goal coming from Garnet Hathaway from a tip-in goal. They were up 3-0. This game ended 4-2. The Detroit Red Wings dominated home ice advantage. The game-winning goal coming from Soderblom in the second period with 3:07 remaining on a slap shot goal, assisted by Fisher and Johansson, scored on Darcy Kemper. The Sucks don't suck anymore, as they are just on the verge of a playoff spot. The Sucks don't suck anymore, as they are on the verge of a playoff spot.
The Canucks, for those of you scoring at home.
They don't suck anymore because they are on the verge of a playoff spot after beating the St. Louis Blues 5-2 last night.
Okay, Brian, you're in San Antonio. You're by the Riverwalk.
Yes, there is actually. Hold on.
There is?
There's got to be. Well,
no local team that I know of in San Antonio. While Droid looks that up, Ryan McCarthy being with us, not a great game for the Devils. They were missing Jacob Markstrom and Nico Hischier. Did I say that right?
Hischier.
Thank you.
So sadly, no. You want to know why? So the San Antonio Iguanas was one of the first teams around that region of San Antonio. They folded after the 2002 season. They ceased operations following the introduction of the San Antonio Rampage, who operated between 2002 to 2020. Their last affiliation was with the St. Louis Blues in 2020 before becoming the Henderson Silver Knights in Henderson, Nevada.
Okay.
And in the Iguanas, time in the CHL, they lost to my Wichita Thunder in the finals in their first season. They lost to the Oklahoma City Blazers in finals, so they pulled Jim Kelly, losing in back-to-back championships.
Brian says Houston
Arrows don't exist.
Is the closest with the Houston Arrows. Ryan McCarthy again. The UTSA Roadrunners have a college club hockey team. I would like to see that.
But here's the problem.
See that, and I'd like to call. I'd like to see that, and I'd like to call that.
Here's the problem.
Just to see how it would be.
Ryan, here's the problem. That team doesn't exist anymore. Houston Arrows ceased in 2013, becoming the Iowa Wild.
That would explain that.
So go watch some club hockey, man. The ACHA isn't bad.
Like
even Jayhawks club hockey is pretty entertaining.
Have you seen it in person?
Yes, I've been to plenty of Jayhawks ice hockey games. Come on.
So how I'm not saying this to be sarcastic. I'm saying this because I'm asking a true question. How entertaining is it to watch club hockey as opposed to the big time hockey that I'm used to with the Blackhawks and the Stars and all of them? How entertaining what are the differences?
You got about, I would say you got 7 levels of hockey, all the way down to, of course, your Pee-wee levels.
Right.
But you got the NAHL is one of those levels where you got these players that are looking to get college offers, which is actually the NA. Let me put my glasses on. The NAHL is where Jakub Dobesh, the current one of the current goaltenders for the Montreal Canadiens. He played in the NAHL for the Topeka Pilots before being drafted directly out of Topeka.
Pilot. Isn't that your team?
That used to be my team before they ceased operations.
Okay.
I think they call the Amarillo Wranglers is what they are called now. And the funny thing is that the head coach of the Houston Arrows was Mike Yeo. One of the worst coaches I have ever seen.
How come?
Don't ask stupid questions. He was the reason the Blues didn't win a championship for almost a decade.
Say no more.
And he has a son,
Oh,
Kyler Yo. And guess who he played for?
who did he play for?
The Topeka Pilots before going to
Topeka
Augsburg.
Pilots.
Before going to Augsburg on a D3 offer. But you got 7 levels. You got the NAHL. You got Division 3, Division 2. You got the NAHL, ACHA, Division 3, Division 2, Division 1. So actually there's 8. So you got Division 1, and then you got ECHL, AHL, NHL. So you got 8 levels of hockey. And there's more if you count Pee Wee and all that.
I've
But
seen
even the NAHL, one of the lower ends, was really entertaining, especially since Landon Arena here in Topeka is a pretty massive arena for a small market team. And I
what's the
think
capacity of Landon Arena?
it was like somewhere around 10, 15,000.
10, 15. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just from observation, I would say it's about 10, 15,000 if the upper bowl is open.
Right.
The upper bowl isn't open anymore because of the fact that we weren't able to sell it out. But now, because of the monster truck, the whatever that thing's called, they start opening it up because they don't want fans getting injured, which makes sense. But you go to these ECHL arenas, they are massive. I went to End Market Arena in Savannah, Georgia, to watch the Savannah Ghost Pirates take on the Grimsville Swamp Rabbits. And, that's where I got the hat you see me wear on the show a couple of times.
Right.
And that game was packed. I mean, you could argue it was sold out. And keep in mind, this is on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
A Wednesday hockey game sold out when there's a bunch of kids probably just getting off of school, because this was a 3 p.m. start. So these high schoolers are just now getting off of school, and they're like, you know what? Let's go to a hockey game after.
Yep.
And the End Market Arena, guess where it is? It's just outside of Savannah, just off of I-44. I think it's called I-44, I believe, because that's the one that goes through Greensboro, or no, not Greensboro. I don't remember what it's called. But then these ACHA arenas, they're really small because these colleges aren't using their resources. Like, I guarantee you, if there was a hockey game at the Fog, oh Lord, would that sell out?
Well, what's the capacity at the Fog? 15 grand? Because for years, I think it was 15,000.
Give or take, let's go to the Fog seating capacity. And that gives you 16,300. That is the Allen Fieldhouse. It used to be about 15. I think.
But they added.
Which dropped it by 1,000 seats. So it's about 15,300.
The record was 17,228, and that was the opener versus Kansas State way back in 1955. Because when they opened Fog Allen, the cap was 17,000, and that up until 64, and then from 64 to 83 it was 15,200. 86 to 94 it was 15,800. 1994 to last year it was 2024. They had 16,300, and now to today to present 15,300. So they made a few changes.
I think the Jayhawks
Ryan McCarthy again.
Ryan
McCarthy again. Liberty University has one of the best ACHA clubs in the U.S. They regularly sell out games in their home arena. I bet they make the jump to Division I competitive hockey in the next 5 years. Yeah, I can see that. And I'm getting a hockey education from the hockey god. I love hockey,
Since
but
the
there's so much.
Inauguration.
Say again.
The ACHA actually has its own division system.
Nice.
sadly, my Jayhawks, they're down in Division 3.
Really?
With teams like Fresno State, Ferris State, Arizona State, Air Force, Central Michigan, Colorado College, Creighton University, Dartmouth, Drake, Duquesne, Michigan State.
That's Duquesne.
Even has an AC. Duquesne. Even Michigan State has an ACHA team. Even though they should have a a Division I team, considering the fact they're Michigan.
Why are this? I want to ask the panel in the chat this question for those of you that are like deeper into hockey than I. How come there are not many D1 hockey teams?
Funding. Funding is the simplest thing, because you have all these teams up north that are willing to fund these. Like, you got Boston College, you got Bowling Green, you got Colgate, Niagara, Michigan State. You got because Michigan State has multiple divisions of hockey. You got Michigan, you got Minnesota Duluth, you got Omaha, you got New Hampshire, North Dakota. Notice how all these teams are up north and none of them are down south.
Right.
The schools down south are not willing to pay the money to host a Division I team.
Gotcha.
It's that's how you get to Division I. That's how you get to D1 is money. It's pretty simple. And then you go to Division III, which is loaded. And you got like Wisconsin Superior, Stout, River Falls, Eau Claire, Southern Maine, Williams College, Sunny Brockport, Middlebury, Milwaukee, New England College, Nichols. So you start to get a little bit more down south with that. And honestly, I can see Liberty being in Division I eventually, but not in the time span that McCoffey gives. Next 5 years, not happening. They don't get enough funding to do so.
Well, how do you think they would change that if they have a chance to change that?
The way to change that is to cut funds from different leagues, from your different teams, because Liberty's football team is what I consider overfunded, considering the fact that they have so much success. They don't need that much funding. They've already won plenty of times. They've had the opportunity to go to the playoffs. You know, they've been pretty solid. And I can definitely argue that they could be Division I in hockey if they cut funds from the football program. And their baseball program is pretty solid. I don't know if they still have their basketball program, but they have a lot of solid.
You don't want to cut funds from teams that are successful. You know, but unfortunately there are schools that have to do that because of restrictions. And one I can think of is University of Northern Iowa. They cut their baseball team.
UNI, yes.
They cut their baseball team. I mean, hell, when I was with Indiana Northwest, I did baseball for them, and we were excited, but it only lasted one season.
But y'all know who Lindenwood is, right?
Yes.
Do you know where that is located, sir?
It's in Illinois, I think.
Huh? No, it is not. It is not in Illinois, sir.
Well, where is it? My brain's fogging out.
Kansas City. It's in
Kansas City. The hell is Lindenwood doing in Kansas City?
Lindenwood is in Missouri, from what I know.
Okay.
It is in St. Charles, Missouri.
Missouri.
Not too far from Kansas City. And not too far from St. Louis. But I would say, arguably, Lindenwood is closer to St. Louis.
Okay.
So we'll call it a St. Louis University.
They already got a St. Louis University.
Yeah, but they don't have a hockey program that's able to upset Notre Dame.
Okay. I can dig that.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to be like, wait, what? Notre Dame got upset? This replay of the final 30 seconds is provided by Peacock and the NBC sports team that works with the NCAA Division I hockey. This is the last 30 seconds of that game between Notre Dame and Lindenwood.
The puck, backhanded into the Irish zone. It's wide of the frame. It's a foot race, and it's won by Sean Evans. What hustle to beat the icing call.
Well, that's third effort there from Evans.
One last gasp for the Irish. 15 seconds left. Ali can't get it towards net. It's loose, cleared, but not out. Kublin with 6 seconds shoots into the corner. Helliwell whacks at it. 2 seconds left. The clock runs out, and Lindenwood has won. The Lions have one of their biggest wins in program history. Can't connect with.
Wow. Quit pushing buttons, man.
Brother, there's a reason that I'm a part of this show, too.
Yeah. We know the comedy relief is there. No, I'm kidding. I kid.
But the biggest upset was what Ryan McCoffey just mentioned, the UNLV Rebels upsetting the Denver University.
You got a clip for that one?
I'm grabbing it. Give me a moment.
All right.
And this is the courtesy of Bleacher Report. Oh, Lord.
I know that feeling.
For those who don't know, the Denver University are national champions.
Denver Pioneers.
The Denver Pioneers are national champions and looking to go back to back. And this happened.
And again, Matthias Dalmonte for UNLV, and he scores, and UNLV going crazy on the bench. They win the shootout and the exhibition game in overtime. Dramatic comeback for Denver, down 5-1 after 2 periods. They tied it at 6.
This is a beautiful
but it was UNLV in the penalty shots that will go home happy. And again,
good stuff, man.
Club hockey is college hockey,
and it's fierce.
To keep that simple. And did you hear that? And you heard that correctly, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Denver were down 5-1.
5-1. And they win at 7-6.
Mm-hmm. And I actually got some transfer news also, and this is going to make our friend Mr. Brian Will unhappy. UTSA cornerback Denver Harris has signed with UNLV.
Is you going to play football or hockey there?
Football.
Okay.
This is football.
This is football. And this is the hockey god opening the show today. Take a break. When you all get back, all-star suckage. Or as a friend put it, all-star suckitude. We'll do a deep dive into that. We had planned it yesterday. Didn't get to it because we were all over the place. We'll do it when you all get back.
This is Snowman in the Morning. do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
All right, y'all. We got something new on Tuesdays. We had it before. Didn't continue it because schedules got crazy. Please help me welcome Errol Marks. What's up,
He's back.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Errol, the floor is yours, my friend. Whatever you want to rant about, talk about. We had planned it this way before, but we couldn't execute it because our schedules got tied up, and then you got tied up, and then I had a couple of health issues. But, man, this is your spot. Tuesday mornings at this time. I'm going to turn the camera to you, and I'm just going to say sick 'em. What do you got for us?
First of all, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm great, man. I'm wonderful. Got some things in order. Trying to get some help to get my car back in order so I can do some Ubering for the family. But me, I'm close to having my legs back because, as y'all know, I was in a wheelchair for about 7 months, and it's taking me a bit to get my legs stretched back out. But wife is helping me, my daughter's helping me. I feel great. And
that's always good to hear.
And sitting in front of this microphone, you did a great show last night, man.
Thank you.
You were awesome. That's why I booked you for every Tuesday. Where do you want to start?
Well, we could start with the New York Jets. Congratulations to Aaron Glenn. Mm-hmm. I thought he was the most quality coach available out of all of them. I mean, I looked at, obviously, Flores. He was my number one target, I would say. Then Aaron Glenn as my number 2. And then Ben Johnson as my number 3. Ben Johnson wanting a lot of money last year. He wanted $15 million, and he decided to stay back with the Lions. Yep. Understood. It kind of told me that he did not want to go to any of those rinky-dinky teams. He waited for one of those jobs that was going to open up where he had a quarterback and he had a team that he can build his offense around. So Chicago, he thought was the proper fit. I think he's going to be false advertisement. I don't know how long it's going to last over there in Chicago. I think the Chicago Bears. Go ahead. I'm going. No, I think the Chicago Bears are an organization that don't know how to hold coaches. They bring in Matt Eberflus, and Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator, but never proved to me that he can run a whole organization. That has been the problem for the New York Jets. They bring these guys in. You bring the Rex Ryans of the world. You bring the Eric Manginis of the world, the Al Groves, all these guys that they bring in. Then you bring in Todd Bowles, and then they bring in Bambi Sala. And I say a deer in the headlights. That's why I gave him the name Bambi Sala.
Right.
All these guys, they bring in guys from other organizations and nothing proven to me.
Right.
Aaron Glenn to me is a proven commodity. This is a guy that interviewed for the job a couple of years ago before they gave it to Robert Saleh. This is a Jet. He was a Jet for 8 years. This guy was a Pro Bowl player. This guy was one of the best corners in the league for 4 years. He was a first-round draft pick. This was the perfect pick for the New York Jets. You put a Jet in charge, a guy that'll build culture over there. And at his press conference yesterday, he said something very, very interesting to me that drew me as a Jet fan, as a Jet guy. And he said, players that are on this team right now, buckle your seatbelts. We're going for a ride. That tells me it's not all gas, no brake. That's ridiculous. It's always been a hefty ride with the New York Jets. Speed bumps and speed bumps and speed bumps. Now they got a guy that can tell and see what this team is and what this team could be if he's classifying it as a team that's been hitting speed bump after speed bump after speed bump since Bill Parcells. And I say that because everybody says, hey, the New York Jets went to back-to-back AFC title games. Don't kid yourself, guys. You had Mark Sanchez as a quarterback, and you had Sexy Rexy getting tattoos on his body of his quarterback. That's not going to work for a New York Jet fan. You need a real guy. You need a guy that's going to live, sleep the game, and that's what I believe Aaron Glenn. As far as Darren Bogey, I don't know anything about him. I know that he's been a lifer with the Broncos. He was there for 12 years. He was there since 2012. He was there with the John Elway years. He was there with Peyton Manning. He helped really make a decision on Bo Nix. Bo Nix looks like he's a quarterback of the future. I think this kid, he's a kid. He's 39 years old, and I'm 42. So to me, he's a kid. I think this kid could work. We're going to see how these guys work together. We're going to see how they build around some of the young players that they have right now. If it works out, this team could be a contender in 2 or 3 years. If you're a Jet fan right now and you're listening to this show right now and you're going to sit and me, well, it can happen next year. Nothing can happen until you know who your quarterback is. And Aaron Glenn said something very, very interesting last night. Very interesting. Yesterday, I'm sorry. He said, it's not about Aaron Rodgers. We are talking Aaron Rodgers. We haven't made a decision, which tells me they already made a decision. So it's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. They're going to be looking for a quarterback in the draft, or they're going to either they're going to go with Jordan Travis, and see what he is, or Tyrod Taylor will be starting. So that's what I'm going to say with the New York Jets. And I will say congratulations to Aaron Glenn. As far as the NFC and AFC title games, let's go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I am an Eagles supporter. Growing up as Donovan McNabb's fan, he was my favorite player growing up. I followed him in Syracuse. When the Eagles drafted him, I fell in love with the Eagles. It wasn't because of the green and white. For all you fans thinking that I'm a green and white guy, I can't stand the color green. So just so you know, that's not why I'm an Eagles supporter. I grew up a Donovan McNabb fan, so I support the Eagles because the Jets always sucked. But I still am a Jets guy. But what I saw on Sunday was pretty simple. It was absolute dominance. And I will tell you one thing. For everybody, including yours truly, taking shots at Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni has held this team together. He's keeping this team together. For all the things that happened last year, and some people saying that he isn't the coach, he shouldn't be the coach, they should go into the offseason with a new coach, they did the right thing. I believe the GM over there and ownership decided to keep Nick Sirianni and keep this team and this coaching staff together. They brought in Kellen Moore. I'm not a big Kellen Moore fan or supporter, but he kind of changed his offense to a more run-savvy offense, having one of the great running backs, the closest thing to Barry Sanders. I don't care what anybody says. He is the closest thing to Barry Sanders. Stocky, big, strong, can run through a wall. And that's what Saquon Barkley is. And what we've seen throughout the playoffs is complete dominance of a great superior running back. This Philadelphia Eagle team is completely different from a couple of years ago when they won the Super Bowl when they beat the Patriots with Nick Foles. I think Jalen Hurts hasn't made any mistakes. He is a lot healthier than people thought he was going into the game. And I love what they did. They had a great game plan. Defensively, they've been just absolutely dominant. Their front seven, Jalen Carter's a beast. Davis is a beast. Braun has been a great addition. Their secondary, obviously, Mitchell and DeJean and Slay has really, obviously in the second half, really, taken over as a slot corner. So they've given themselves so much depth. I think they had the best offseason I have seen a team have in such a long time. And again, congratulations to the Washington Commanders. Congratulations. And congratulations to Jaden Daniels. He's going to be a sensational quarterback. But what the Washington Commanders don't know, and I'm going to say this might not happen again. They had to go into this game ready and willing to do whatever they can to knock off the better team. They didn't show up to this game. They didn't. Dan Quinn got outcoached. He got outcoached. And Dan Quinn has done this before. He's been to title games. He's won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. He's gone to an NFC title game as a head coach and won with Atlanta. But he's choked in the playoffs and the big game. And he choked in this game. So it was just an absolute dominance. Too many drops. Eckler dropped the ball. Too many kick return dropped the ball. There was too many special teams mistakes. And that's why the Eagles just absolutely dominated and scored 50 on a Washington Commander defense. And by the way, what the hell is Louvu doing? I have never seen that in my complete life. How are you on the 4-yard line and get 3 consecutive penalties and then get warned by the referees that if it happens again, they're going to award him a touchdown? I've never seen that before in my complete life watching. It was Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, going to the KC and Bills game, all right? The game looked like it was fair all the way down the middle until the fourth quarter. That's when everything and all the turbulence happened. And this is what this ref group wanted, and this is what the NFL wanted, and it's absolutely despicable. And could you stop showing Taylor Swift on the cameras? I'm so tired of watching this team. I'm so tired of watching Taylor Swift. All you people, all you women out there that are watching the KC Kansas City team because of Taylor Swift. It's ridiculous. Absolute joke. This team is a good team. Overrated. Patrick Mahomes, he does show up in the big game, but they're an overrated team. This defense is not as good as it was last year. Their secondary is not as good as it was last year without Snead. And I don't want to hear it about, oh, Spags had the game plan. Spag did the right thing at the end of the game. Yeah, Spag made the right calls at the right times. But guess what? The referees gave him a nice little pat in the ass. That first down, and I'll say this, and I don't care what anybody says, Josh Allen got a first down on that 4th and 1. It was a first down. It was absolutely. And by the way, Patrick Mahomes lobbing up that ball when they caught the ball. Oh, wait a second, hit the ground. Oh, wait a second, it was intercepted. If anything, it hit the ground. If it hit the ground, they don't even get a 3-point conversion. They don't score. And probably Buffalo takes the ball down the next round and wins the game. I honestly think that the referees and playing this, it was rigged. I know that and I'll tell you this right now. They were told if the game is close and there are close calls, give it to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I do believe that. I believe that there is some kind of conspiracy to this. I've talked to player after players, ex-players on my show. I've talked to writers. I've talked to everybody and I've been saying this for years when everybody has told me that I was absolutely crazy on my show saying that the NFL is rigged in the game. It is absolutely rigged. If anybody doesn't believe that, you're an absolute blind idiot. That's what I'm going to tell you. Absolute jackasses. And I'm not cursing, so don't worry about it. They are jackasses. As far as I'm concerned right now, you're going to a Super Bowl where these two teams have met before. And what happened? Oh, we remember. Patrick Mahomes went down in the first half. He had a hurt ankle. He was going to stay in the pocket. He had to have his leg wrapped. Remember that? And then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, this guy's slamming and damming and slashing and dashing, and he's all over the field running 20 yards, 22 yards. This guy's leg was absolutely not hurt. His ankle was absolutely healthy. I'll tell you this. For any conspiracy out there, this Eagle team is so much better than the Kansas City Chiefs. If the Kansas City Chiefs win this game, and it is even close, it tells me the game is rigged. I don't care what anybody says. This Eagles team is better defensively, better offensively, better in the trenches, better special teams, not better coaching, but that's the only thing they have. So anybody sitting here today and listening to this show right now, no matter how good Andy Reid is, you can't take away talent. And Saquon Barkley, they couldn't stop James Cook. Do you actually think if the Eagles are going to keep feeding the beast and Saquon Barkley the ball, they're going to be able to stop him? Not a chance in hell. I expect Saquon to get 2 or 3 touchdowns in this game, at least 2 in this game. And I'm going to tell you that they should run all over the Kansas City Chiefs. It shouldn't even be close.
It shouldn't even be close. Do you think Saquon can get 200 in the Super Bowl?
No, he's not getting 200. No, I think 80 rushing yards and about 40 to 50 all-purpose catching yards. I think he gets, a complete game of 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, maybe 3, depending on, how they start fairly quickly. Saquon usually scores in the first quarter. You'll know his pace. If he scores a touchdown in the first quarter, you can probably predict he's going to score another one. And maybe 2. So you'll see the pace of the game and how the game kind of moves. I'm going to be down in New Orleans next week. We were invited to do our show. So we're going to go down and we're going to have a little fun with some of the great guests that we're going to interview. And I preach to everybody to check out what we're going to be doing. This is not like every radio show. Okay, we're not boring, and I'm not taking shots at Brian because I love Brian. Brian's show is fantastic. I love him on our show, the Worldwide Sports Radio. Brian's fantastic, great personality, it's great for everything that he knows and his knowledge in sports. But I'm going to tell you this: there is no show out there like us. We are crazy, we're knowledgeable, and we're not going to give a friggin' you know what. We're going to go out there, we're going to drop the hammer on everybody that we interview, and we're going to let the truth splatter. And what I mean by splatter, if there's bloodshed, you might see a little bit on me. That's all I'm going to say. So I go out there, I'm going on all purpose. I'm not going to sit there and kiss anybody's rear end. I'm going to go out there and give them the truth. And that's what I do. You don't like it? Tough luck.
That's what we do here. That's what we do in the morning. That's why we are so proud to anchor your network and the couple of others that asked us and this show to anchor your network. There is no way you're 42 years old looking that good.
42, man. Well, thank you, man. I'm 42. I actually work for Northwell during the day. You gotta get the benefits. You gotta have the benefits, man. But
that's what my wife does while I'm healing from cancer. I don't believe that you're 42. People don't believe I'm 52 with everything everything that's happened to me.
I'll tell you guys a funny story. I'm a DJ, so I DJ all over the tri-state, and I've been all over the world as a DJ. And the other day I was at an event, and I'm wrapping up the event, and one of the girls come up to me and they say, "Oh, man, you spin some great music. I haven't heard that music in a long time." I said, "How old are you?" "I'm 24. I said, "You haven't heard the music in a long time. How long ago were you listening to it?" And then she says, "Well, how old are you? You don't look like you're that much older than me. What are you, like 28, 29? I'm like, "Sweetheart, I'm old enough to be your dad." That's what I told her. And she never could believe it. She couldn't believe it. I pulled out my driver's license, and that's when she knew. She's like, You know what it is, man? You got to take care of yourself. You got to don't drink, don't smoke. Go out there, and I'm not saying don't drink, on occasions, have fun with your friends and something like that. I'm just not a drinker. Just go out and have a good time. And by the way, I see your partner over here. This is the first time I'm meeting your partner. What's your partner's name?
This is Shane Creighton, a.k.a. Droid. We call him Droid here on the show.
Droid? Oh, all right.
Yep. Droid.
Is he
Go ahead, Droid.
Well, I forgot it was me, but yeah, we actually did meet way.
Oh, okay.
It was like one of the first things. I remember you were talking about Panthers Rangers.
That's
right. And I want people to know this. I am aware that the NFL is a business, and yes, there's rigging because it's a business. They want to make the most money that they can, and that's how they're doing it. They're making the most money by having the two biggest teams and the biggest franchises in the Super Bowl. That's how this works. You take two big names and you put them in, you make the most money because the Super Bowl is going to sell out because of the names. But I am tired as a fan of getting ridiculed for being a Chiefs fan just because the NFL is choosing to be a business instead of an actual sports league.
Right.
I'm not. By the way, I didn't know that you were a Chiefs fan. And if you're a Chiefs fan, good for you. I mean, a lot of our handicap players, they're Chiefs fans. One of them has Chief tickets. I was actually invited if I could fly over there to go to the Bills and Chiefs game. He had seats right on the ground to watch the game. I chose not to because I'm going to New Orleans the week after. So I'm not going to make two trips. It's too much for me. It's too much traveling for me. So I didn't go to Kansas City, but I will experience going to a Kansas City game one of these days. But hey, listen, I don't take shots at, as far as I'm concerned, of the Chiefs' accomplishments. I just think the NFL loves this. Patrick Mahomes is the Tom Brady of this era. They want Patrick Mahomes to have a three-peat. They want this because it's never happened before, and it's going to draw eyes. That's what it's going to do. That's the only reason why the NFL wants it.
And the teams that attempted a three-peat before, Troy Aikman and the Cowboys in the 90s, Joe Montana, 49ers in the 80s, it didn't draw as many eyes as this will, because I think in the Aikman, in the Cowboys era of the 90s and the 49ers of the 80s, I think it was expected that somebody only wins one. They don't get a chance to win two, and they certainly don't get a chance to win three. You know how rare that opportunity is. but
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes has a chance to win 3 in a row. The growth has been so different, and the audience, like you have talked about on your show so many times over, and I appreciate you talking about this. And let's mention the folks. We got Lennon Barnes from the University of Missouri talking Bowl Madness up next. We'll do that after the break. But it's something you said about the audience changing right before our eyes, and now we got this. We got more eyes with the Tom Brady era, but not as many as we have with Patrick Mahomes. And like Droid said, I'm aware that it's a business, but as fans, we get put on the back burner, man. And it's happening more now than it has in the past with the era of the Niners and the Cowboys and those teams that actually had full teams, not good teams, but full teams. And Joy, you know what I'm talking about when I say full teams. When you had all the spots covered on your team. And to repeat something that Droid said just a moment ago, as fans, the joy is being taken away from us. What do you think, E? Well, he's on the phone. Right? The joy is being taken away from us.
My bad, bro.
All right.
What was the question? I'm sorry. What was the question?
Is something you had said on your show so many times before.
Did I lose you? I think I lost you.
Oh, did you?
Hear you?
We got you. We're right here.
There it is. Okay. What was your question?
We're right here. The games in the pro leagues, period, especially the NFL, has been taken away from the fans. That's something that you have said, Errol, on your show, which is why I appreciate listening to your show while I'm.
I heard all that. What's your question? I heard all that. What was your question?
Do you think it's being taken away from the fans? Or
100%. I 100% believe it's taken away from the fans. 100%. I think what the league is doing right now is they're trying to grow a product and bring in more cash and more flow. That's why this 18-game thought of bringing in an 18-game season is something that a lot of these veteran quarterbacks aren't getting paid the guaranteed money. And now players are complaining that if you're going to bring an 18-game, all the money should be guaranteed. 100%. My deal here is if you're going to bring in an 18th game, every single field should be grass. Everything should be translated into grass. This turf situation has really affected injuries, Achilles, head injuries. The turf is like cement. I don't know if anybody's ever played on turf or actually run on turf. If you ever tried to jump for a ball and land on your body, it's like hitting cement. It is unsafe and uncharacteristic for a player to actually go up there in a ball, especially on a cold day, and it's icy and it's disgusting out. What do you think you're landing on? If you're landing on grass, at least you have some kind of feed. You don't have any of that when you're running on turf. I think the NFL is not taking care of their players. We've said this on our show. We've interviewed a lot of ex-NFL players, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. We've interviewed a lot of NFL players in the game today, and they've all told us they prefer the grass. Why? Because it's safer. And when you're stopping on a dime, the grass goes with the feed. If you're stopping on a dime on turf, it doesn't move with your legs. That's when you're pulling something. That's when you're ripping something or you're tearing something. So it's a different kind of play. If they want an 18th game and they want to do that because they want to draw more money and open up opportunity and more cash flow, they got to protect the players. They got to do the right thing for the players.
Oh, man, I love you. I love you very much. Errol Marks here on Snowman in the Morning with us. And Errol, we got to talk because some of the guests you have, I would love to have on my show as well and really build this thing. You're headed to New Orleans. I hope you have a great time. I will be tuning in. And I will say this to you, brother. I will say this to you, brother. First and foremost, my wife said it to me this morning to motivate me, and I want to say it to you. I will see you next year in Santa Clara, California at Levi's Stadium on Radio Row when we conquer this together. It's been
absolutely.
It's been a plan of yours and mine for 7 years to share Radio Row. You know the health problems I've been through in the last 3.5 years, and here I am. I'm still kicking, and we finally are getting this together. I will see you next year on Radio Row in Santa Clara when we both interview great guests and I extend my show. And this is your spot, man. I love having you on.
Thank you.
I love you very much. I love you dearly, man. You kick
I
ass
love you
in
too,
New
man.
Orleans. If
I
you need
will.
me to come on- If you
I
need me
will.
to go on during Super Bowl week, I'm ready.
You're more than welcome. How's that? You're more than welcome to. We would love to
Thank
have
you.
you on. We would
Thank
love
you.
to have you on. Absolutely.
Thank you so very much. I love you, brother.
And what's great, and same here, I just want to let you guys, what's great about where I'm going to be stationed, we're not even going to be stationed in Radio Row. We're going to be in the media area, the media room, where there's nobody screaming, no fans are crapping. We're going to be able to get fresh, clear interviews. And that's what, I was looking at it. I was thinking, we should be in Radio Row. But why do I want to be in Radio Row when people are going crazy, screaming, when I could concentrate on all the guests that we're interviewing? And that's what I want to do. I want to give the guest the opportunity to have the forefront. So, we might be on Radio Row one of the days or maybe two, but we'll be in Radio Row, obviously getting the guests and, pampering, all the people that we're going to interview. But all in all, the fact that we're going to be interviewing in the media room is so great. And we'd like to thank the NFL for letting us do that. So we're excited.
Well, the building of Snowman in the Morning, even though we're in our 11th season, has started. I've had Super Bowl champions on my show in the past. Errol, as you know, I've had Lee Woodall on the show. I've had Gary Reasons from the Giants. I want to get more guests. I want to get more guests like that. And I know you've pledged to help me. But
100%.
But you've also said that I need to get well, because after my cancer surgery, I've been in the hospital like 4 or 5 different times. But I'm ready. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's get some good folks on here. I'll extend
100%.
the show another hour to get some great professional guests on the show. And I appreciate you very much for being patient with me and being patient with my shows. I finally got it together from moving from North Carolina back to Indiana, then my cancer surgery. And you were one of the first to wonder what was going on when I was off the show for 2 months. And then you found out I had surgery to remove pancreatic cancer. But man, 7-year friendship, about to be an 8-year friendship this summer. Man, I love you so much. And thank you for being patient with me, and thank you for allowing Snowman in the Morning to anchor your network. I truly appreciate it.
Well, we love you guys. Keep up the good work. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you much. Thank you much. All right, let's take our halftime break. And when we come back, Droid takes the microphone and has Lennon Barnes on the program. Y'all remember him. He got a chance to hold a trophy. We'll talk about all that. Second hour of Snowman in the Morning with the Smiling Droid and Lennon Barnes is next.
This is Snowman in the Morning.